Okay, moving into the horse stance. So again, I have the blue line on the floor. My feet are going to stay on that line for the sake of our practice right now. And then I'm going to show you a couple of alternatives, okay? So the beginning is just moving sideways. So we practice this, keeping in mind that when we practice this stance, we're practicing it for coordination, for strength building, for a little bit of flexibility in the beginning, okay? So you're beginners. This is the foundation, okay? This stance is a wonderful strengthening stance. It has a lot of really great applications later in your training and even soon in your training, okay, as far as practical applications, okay? But right now, when we're practicing it, we're really practicing it to help make our body stronger, to help us get flexible and strong in a low stance, to help us understand how to move in and out of these low stances. All right, once we've mastered, like I said in the previous video about moving in and out of the front stance to the side, once we've mastered moving into our horse stance to the side, then we can change the angles. Actually, that's part of mastery of moving it, but once we get pretty good at moving to the side and we know that our foot is going where we want it to go, then we can put it in other places. We can say, now I want it to go there, and it will go there because you have control over it, okay? So that's what we're trying to accomplish right now. It's very basic. If you're an advanced student watching this, remember this is our basics. This is one of our building blocks. By now, as an advanced student, you've learned that you can move it in different directions. But what often happens to advanced students is they forget the basics and they start to get sloppy about how they're using those basics. So it's really important to always review, go back, do your basics again and again and again, get them better, get them better, get them better, okay? So moving into our horse stance, I'm going to start by moving to my left, which is your right. All right, so as I stand here, I want my horse stance to ultimately be about 2 of my natural stances wide. So as I stand here in my natural stance, if I look down at the floor and I say, well, gee, I'm going to double that, two natural stances means my foot's going to go over here, somewhere over there, okay? And then my knees are going to bend and I'm going to be out. So now, each one of us is different about how exactly far we can go. For my anatomy, 2 of my natural stances is just a little too wide for my shape. My leg is very long from the foot to the knee, and I'm not as long from here, okay, from the knee to the hip. Some people, if you're very long from your hip to your knee, if your femur is very long, you can take a wider stance. For people who are shorter here and longer there, it's going to be a little narrower, okay? The key is we want to be in a place where our feet are able to be directly underneath our knees. All right, so we have to find that place. A simple way to start is to put your feet together. Now, this is not how you would actually move into the stance, but this is a way to get a feel for the space you need and where your foot's going to go. So what you do is you start with your feet together. I'll put my pant legs up just a little bit so hopefully you can see my feet a little better. And now from my feet together, I'm going to turn my toes out, not uncomfortably far, but I want a good V down there. And then I'm going to pivot on the balls of my feet or my toe and swing the heels out, okay? And now I'm going to turn my toes out again, turning on the heel. And then from here, I'm going to keep my toes where they are, and I'm going to swing my heels back until they're below or behind my toes, okay? And now you can see my stance is more correct, that my feet are beneath my knees as I move into this, okay? So that is more of the distance I want. If I went for 2 of my natural stances, my foot would be here. And now you can see that my feet are not below my knees, okay? So I don't want that. I want my feet below my knees. So this foot has to come in a little bit, and I want those feet below my knees, okay? So we're going to practice that, okay? So we start feet together. Again, this is just a way for you to figure out your width. And you have to be fair about it. You know, if you're taking tiny little changes and you do that, that's not it, people. That is not it, okay? It needs to be approximately 2 shoulder widths apart, approximately, okay? So from here, I start my feet together, I turn my toes out. And now I turn my heels out, okay? So my heels should be way outside my toes. And now I'm going to swing my toes out, and I'm going to put my heels behind my toes, bend my knees, and make sure my feet are straight ahead. and I'm going to drop down by bending my knees, keeping my back straight. Okay? So this is a better position. Okay? So now we're just going to move into it. And how do we move into it? We just move into it. So I know where my foot needs to go, about so far from this foot. I'm going to move into it. I do something with my arms to help. So I'm going to bring my arms up and cross my hands and open my fingers forward. Okay? They're kind of in front of my shoulders. All right? And now, by bending my knees and keeping my back straight, I'm going to slide my foot out, settle into my stance, and bring my hands back to chamber. And then to come up, I reverse it. I shoot my hands out, and I use my legs to lift up. So moving out into the horse stance, I cross my hands. I'm going to step out, sink down, bring these hands back. To come up, I shoot out, and I come up. Re-add one thing. When we get into that horse stance, we ki. So I'm going to prepare by crossing my hands out in front of me, and look where they are, out in front of me. Okay, not here, not here, not here, not here, out here. Okay, so out here, and I'm going to move my left foot, your right foot, out into the horse stance with a ki. And then to come up, I shoot and come up. So moving out into the horse stance with a ki. Ready? Go. And up. Good. Moving out into the horse stance with a ki. Ready? Go. And up. Good. One more time. Moving out into the horse stance with a ki. Ready? Go. And up. Good. All right. Shake it out. Practice that. Practice on both sides. It's exactly the same going the other way. All right. Practice that. And I would suggest that as you practice it, you practice holding the horse stance for more and more time. So when you first go out, maybe you hold it for a couple of seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then you come back up. After that, you can get pretty good at that. After, try it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, maybe next week, try to hold it for 10 seconds. Okay? And then try to time yourself. Can you hold it for 30 before you come up? And when you come up, this is one thing that's really important. When you come up, watch out for this. Okay? I'm not going to adjust the camera, but you'll see. If I'm in my horse stance, when I come up, if you're doing this to get up, you're not doing it right. Okay? You have to make sure when you come up that you're coming straight up. Your head goes up, not your shoulders. Okay? Practice, practice, practice.